Okay, abusunya be makọ abaso nkoso edeba POG Media so. Abusunya yembonra yensemu. Lawyer Matin Kpebu ababe Worsen ken Ofori Atta case na enye asem ketwa kra na ken Ofori Atta ni data bank no transaction na just ken Ofori Atta no de no. Lawyer Matin Kpebu ababe drop esa charges ni nyina masisi ano Attorney General so abarem Dominic Ayini Abba masisi ano ono so process case no just watro Akroma US in paying for an answer authorities they were and some days be kono abusuya ano eden edema ken Ofori Atta so no ankasa saranda na obabe pim e Ghana ha enye asem keto akra yensem momremo yenko na yenkonkoti ensema Lawyer Matin Kpebu de etujana answer na ebe kono or and some can be a fashion comment section like na share ma afofron so answer into me and can be POG Media so political trending stories are making waves in here so yaja to see
outcome is one that did not surprise you, at least based on the chronicling of events that the special prosecutor gave. Is it the case that Ofori Atta's lawyers, the approach they took did not help, or this outcome would certainly have been the case no matter how it was approached?
Oh, you can see that quite clearly. His defense team was in shambles. They didn't do a good job at all, right? So this very key to this discussion, the analysis, is the fact that, you see, when Ofori Atta was given the extension to 2nd June, that was in February, right? That was reached sometime in February.
Yes.
So he had a lot of time. March, he had the whole of April, right? Part of March, a larger part of March, and the whole of April to, come back to the OSP. If he saw that he was going to need a further extension. Look at the thing. This is the thing. Yeah. At the time they gave him extension to 2nd June to meet OSP, he was billed to undergo the surgery on 20th and 21st March. Yeah. Very key. Let's look at that. So he was billed to go under the 9th on 20th and 21st March. Those were the 2 days for the surgery. Now, before that date, even if we are using 21st March as a date, it became clear to him that the surgery will no longer come on. The key thing is that why didn't Ofori Atta reach out to the special prosecutor? Why didn't he reach out to the special prosecutor at least from 21st March? That, Mr. Jabin, we agreed I would see you on the 2nd of June. Right? Because I was going to do surgery on 20th and 21st March. But now, today is 21st March. The surgery has not taken place. There are going to be other moves here and there. So what can we do in terms of maybe rescheduling? Can we move forward my meeting with you? Anything. Anything. Once the surgery didn't come on, it's such a material fact, very, very weighty, that his defense needed to reach out to the OSP and discuss the way forward. Because let's remember, meeting adjourned to 2nd June because we are going to do surgery 20th, 21st March. 20th, 21st March, you don't do a surgery. You don't reach out to OSP. So if you check 21st June to 21st April, 1 month, 21st May, 2 months, then his lawyers write on the 28th of May. Yeah. I mean, come on. That's where he lost it. That's where he lost it. It's as if he and his lawyers, they don't even appreciate the quagmire in which Ofori Atta finds himself. I mean, we all lived here. Ghanaians are unhappy that Akuffo has made his brother, Ofori Atta, the finance minister. We borrow, then they make money. We borrow, then they make money through data bank. So their families become very rich from the loans that today are killing us, right? So if you have lawyers who don't put all of this in context, then you are in serious trouble. Because it's very, very, very important that you should know that people want Ofori Atta to be held accountable. Because they've made too much money. Under the guise of it's legitimate. Data bank was already doing that work, which is false. Kpebu came and sat here and said, look, when he was deputy finance minister, they brought on Data Bank and Toby Afede's company, Strategic African Securities, right, to learn from the big boys, the white boys. So they were understudying the whites. Yet as soon as MPP came in, suddenly Data Bank has become a very experienced company that's the one doing all the work, which is lies. How many years do you understudy? You hear people say, oh, he has been issuing bonds long ago, from a long time. When he was just given that experience, his company was given that experience. In the NDC2 administration, that's the 2013 to 2016 JM administration. But they kept lying. People who supported it kept lying. Oh, Ofori has been doing this work, issuing these bonds for decades. It's different. They were trading in securities. These ordinary treasury bills, EPAC, those are domestic securities, not international bonds, not the ones that suddenly Data Bank was making a lot of money from. But they deceived the public, and people kept repeating it. They've been doing this for long. So the main point we're making is that you would find that based on the way they were openly taking our money through Data Bank, millions of Ghanaians were not happy. And then, because we kept saying that they are corrupt, apart from what we could see through the open taking of money through Data Bank when Ghana borrows, we could also see that there had been the KPMG report on SML. You would see the Ofori hands all over it. You would see the National Cathedral one. Yes, he went to Parliament, you know, the censure vote. He went and said they took it from a contingency vote. That's the money, right? Contingency vote, meaning that they use contingency funds to do National Cathedral. Every auditor, accountant will tell you that no, you don't embark on such a massive project with contingency money, etc. So National Cathedral, SML, at least these were very public. People knew. It appears the other ones were ones that, well, I hadn't seen, especially the PF fund, the tax fund. Yes. Right? And also the one involving the Chinese company.
We'll put the notice.
Yeah, please put them.
The wanted notice has the details.
Yes. But at least two of them, National Cathedral was very, 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 very open. People, millions of Ghanaians knew it. SML also open. You know, Bembuachi's African, this is Center for Energy Policy, etc., CDD and the rest. I let them. We've sued SML and sued Ofori himself.
I see. You are in court.
Yes, we are in court. So these things are things that he should know. So anybody advising him will know that, hey, master, you are public enemy number one. So everything you do, your surgery didn't come on. Inform the OSP and see how to maybe come back to Ghana quickly to take care of this business and go back, whatever. You think, yes, upon all I've said, you think that today, if every doctor who comes to look at Ofori in Ghana tells us that, no, this man needs to go back for surgery, Ghanaians will say, no, he should die. Yes, of course, naturally, you'll find some who will say he should die. But the larger majority of us are reasonable. Everybody will agree that, okay, let him go for surgery and come. So this whole thing, not to come into Ghana, not to, give the OSP the needed cooperation, is something that just puts his whole defense in shambles, right? And tells us that there are sinister motives. Yeah, he's not showing good faith. This is common sense. Common sense, very basic. Very basic.
It's why I said they gave the OSP the letter information needed that he was due, for instance, in the June 13 for another procedure. And so that should have been considered as well by the special prosecutor. To say that still they left him in shambles. That's how you put it, based on what has happened now?
Yes. Oh, listen, like I said, it doesn't change anything. You see, let's go back. March 21. March 20th and March 21 were the dates for the surgery. March. Yes. The surgeries didn't come on those dates. And I can even tell you from my experience that the way the US people work, even only US, Ghana, I would be sure that 2 to 3 days before the surgery, if it's no longer coming on, they would know because of the way they arrange their things. If the surgery, let's even say that we cannot tell. Maybe there was an emergency on the day of the surgery. So let's leave that side. Let's use what? On 20th of March, he didn't do a surgery. 21st of March, he didn't do a surgery. So why did he keep quiet till the 28th May? That's a key thing. This particular thing, when you are analyzing, you don't need to talk plenty. Simply, 21st March, your surgery didn't come on. Why did you keep quiet till 28th of May? More than 2 months. And the June 13th, you are saying, unless Mr. Okan say, unless I missed something, that June 13th, when did he write? When did he write to OSP? That's the key. As far as I'm aware, OSP says it's 28th May. Is there an earlier letter than 28th May that we can use?
So there was a 28th May that there was another court. In fact, the Confederated lawyers filed another case in court on the 28th of May. But then this letter, which we're going to put on the screen from the Mayo Clinic in the United States, let's put that on the screen right now. That letter had some detail specific to what was the latest medical condition of Ken Ofori and the date that you talk about and when this was written. And this is it. It says, "Dear Sir, Madam," and this was written on May 14th. The date on this letter is May 14th.
But when did it come to the attention of the OSP? That's a key thing.
It says, "I'm writing to inform you that Ken Ofori has undergone an MR-guided biopsy and has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. A surgical intervention has been deemed necessary after the testing and MRI and biopsy procedures in March." So what happened in March was the testing and MRI.
Yes, but not the surgery. So at that time, they had said that they were going to do surgery. You see, not a biopsy. Said they were going to do surgery. He was due for surgery. So then OSP looked at it and magnanimously gave more time because after surgery, you will need to what? Recover. As for this particular case, you remember, let's put this in context. You remember the first time OSP declared him wanted. I sat here and granted many interviews and said I disagreed strongly with the OSP. I disagreed the first time because why? Like we say in Ghanaian English, when Ofori was traveling out of Ghana, he wrote a letter and took it to Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra. It was Mr. Debra who didn't give the security agencies. That's something I fault him too for. Knowing everything around Ofori, I'm so surprised that, extremely surprised that the letter was taken to Mr. Debra's office and they didn't give the security agencies. Maybe it's something we should be investigating and fire the people. Maybe I can imagine Chief of Staff, he can say, look, he can't read every letter. But his office, who is in charge? How did they manage that? A letter, Ofori says, I'm traveling out of Ghana. It comes to the Chief of Staff's office and him. I mean, anybody knows that, hey, this man, everybody knew right away after the elections that he'll be the #1 person to answer questions. So he says he's traveling. And so what kind of people are employed in the Chief of Staff's office that none of them could see that this is something we must pass on to all the law enforcement agencies so that if they need him, they can, invite him and get necessary arrangements. Today, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, child. Anyway, I'm sure maybe we should get a full day for that. So, Mr. Debra, you should be investigating people in your office. How come? Because now you are taking the fall for it. Yes, because I can imagine that as Chief of Staff, you can't read every letter. But you employ those people. They work under you. So how can such a letter come to your office and not be given to police, Yoko, OSP? It beats my mind. So totally.
The expectation was that as the letter was written, and at least the various security agencies should have been alerted.
Absolutely. This one is no brainer. How? He writes you know that Chief of Staff, you don't do investigations. So you should know that when such a letter comes, automatically it's meant for law enforcement agencies. Because Chief of Staff, you are taking care of the president. So he says, because the president implements the laws under Article 58. So he's informed president, you should take it out. And so for that reason, I told you that the first time OSP declared him wanted, I said, no, I don't agree because the man went out legally. He even informed, even the letter wasn't necessary, but he took an extra step and informed, right? So you can see that is me. And me, knowing that today, if it comes, it's good for my court case. But you see, Well, it's not my case. It's the CDD, etc. I'm lawyer for
so
them.
It's your case, essentially.
Well, but you know, so you say yes, but I have to be fair to him. So that first time, I said no. I disagree with OSP. We gave you so much support. Then you sit down and do this. I look at it and I'm like, this man. But it's good we gave him the benefit of the doubt. We, as lawyers, we are trained to use due process. Of course, inside me, yes, you have doubts, you have suspicions, but in law, they say a multitude of suspicions don't constitute evidence. And it's not proof, right? So I said, no, let's go by due process. Because he wrote that letter, I didn't support OSP on that first outing. But so many months on, and then you repeat the same thing, shambolic performance. So for me, this is it. It's good that the OSP has declared him wanted again, except that OSP2, we need him to answer some questions. I've raised it before. You see that under the Mutual Legal Assistance Act, Act 807, 2010, you know, that one is for criminal cases. So if you need help, the person is outside Ghana, you go through our Attorney General, then our Attorney General will write to the U.S. government. At least at a point, they are saying Ofori is in the U.S. or any other country.
Yes. Okay. So they give 6 locations, but this Mayo Clinic, we know it's in the U.S. They have other branches. I think from our search, we saw one in the UAE, one in China, and then also about 11 other countries as well. But this letter purported to be from his doctors. It's from the Mayo Clinic in the U.S.
Exactly. So you write to the Americans. So the Attorney General, Dr. Ayine, would reach out to the U.S. government. We need Ofori for this. Long and short, what I'm saying is that we should have also used a bit of that time from the February to June, you see, so that we could have reached out. So speaking plainly, for me, I to date, Mr. Jabin hasn't explained. And you see, we are using information. So speaking plainly, I'm not altogether happy with Mr. Jabin that he didn't use the video conferencing facilities that you can use if you apply to the U.S. authorities, where they would then grant facilities so that you would do video conference. It's in the law. So that you can conference with Ofori whilst you're there. Because from February to June was a lot of time. That's why I say, so it's based on information. You see, when you're in public office, you know how Ghanaians are. We are minimum 33, 34 million citizens, right? So we'll ask questions. So you should see that Ghanaians will ask questions. So when there is a law that says that we can seek the help of the foreign government so that we can talk to him, do video conference, ask him to bring documents, etc. If you reject it, then come with reasons for us to be at par with you, because you know it's governance. If you say, oh, you are the OSP, Mr. Jabin cannot even say he doesn't owe us an explanation. He does, because these are state resources. The time we're using is also a resource. So why are we sitting on our hands for 4 months saying, okay, we'll wait till June, when we could have been engaging him through video conferencing, etc.? You have a question?
Yes. The question was, this same question was put to the OSP during the press conference. He said that the Ofori and his lawyers cannot be picking and choosing.
Yes, I heard that's not an answer.
Dictating to the OSP how the investigation.
No, that's not an answer.
Why
Please,
is that?
with due respect, that's not an answer. The question is that we have the Mutual Legal Assistance Act. We, US, they are always asking us for help. All right? We also ask. So if they need something, extradition, they will write to us, send us arrest warrant, all those things. Then we extradite, we arrest people here, extradite them to the US, etc. It's for cooperation and this. Because if I had the one, I want to get my investigations moving forward quickly. The man says in February, I'm not coming. But eventually you guys agree he will come in June. That's a long time. We could have negotiated that well. In the meantime, for other things, if you are strong enough, can we do a number of video conferences? This day will ask for this, that day this. Then you progress. I don't. That's why I said, so Mr. Jabin, you need to explain why you can't. It's not an answer to say a suspect or an accused cannot pick and choose. That's not an answer. What is at stake is that our resource, our time, we've lost time. So you can't come and give us an answer that an accused cannot pick and choose. That's not an answer. You've lost time. Account for it. Why did you do that? I would have engaged him straight. I would have engaged him. Because remember, It's that the family will tell you, and the lawyer ma'am is here. It's not Ofori Atta who is coming. He's not obliged to come and hang himself. You are investigating. You have your information that you think that, yes, this one, you think he's done something wrong. So it's your information. You have to ask him. If you are lucky and he confesses, fine. But he can still confess even if you are engaging him through this mutual legal assistance act, right, with the help of the Attorney General. So I don't understand. He should explain to us why he sat on his hands for this about how many? 3.5 months minimum. It's a lot of time. You don't have much time. And you know, the expectations of Ghanaians is growing. There's pressure. So I would have engaged Ofori Atta. I would have. I don't know, unless maybe there's something. And when he was giving, there's something that we don't understand from here. But once we don't understand, give us the necessary information why you didn't engage him. But not to say that a suspect or an accused cannot pick and choose. That one, with due respect, it's not an answer. We've lost time. That's a lot of time. From February 18th, right? Yes, to June 2nd. So you had the whole of March, whole of April, whole of May. Then you add about those few, this is about half of February. Yeah, so minimum about 3.5 months. That's a lot of time, extremely. Now, I think OSP2 must answer for that. Yeah.
Well, the OSP is going to answer in a bit for it because Samir Akko is going to be joining us on Zoom then. And I want you to respond to this, that that position that has been espoused, that under the Constitution, Ofori Atta Kpebu has the right not to even incriminate himself.
Yeah.
He has a right to remain silent.
Yes, yes. Article 19.
Even if he's extradited.
Yes.
Yes.
So ask him. So if you give you the information, if you are doing video conferencing, he will tell you, I will give you. And then we want your statement. Once the permission of the U.S. authorities have been sought, yeah, he will send the statement. Then at least you know that, well, this is a man who says he will not confess. Then you start preparing. But say, okay, let's wait. It's... you know, it's difficult. Mr. Jabin, this one, that side is a bit tacky. It's a bit tacky, you know, because 3.5 months is a lot of time. Lot.
Well, let me bring, like I said, Mam Hesi in a bit. That proposal about Mr. Kwame Jantua.
Okay, abusunya wene ensema ekoso ewo political highway so eye lawyer Martin Kpebu na yetene nkase ode Ofori Atta ehun nsem tudwa abusunya wene ensema ekoso ebedamase se moje pene kokoti sa audio de emaye aha POG Media so political trending stories are make you waves and so yaji atum se de bebremo bedamase